Hi, how are you?
Good, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Dylan Morris, 2/17/94.
All right, thank you, Mr. Morris.
Yep.
Mr. Morris, you're here on a Superior Court new case and on a Superior Court alleged probation violation. In your new case, sir, you're charged with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. That's a Class 3 felony. I have appointed you an attorney. Your case will be heard at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. You have a status conference scheduled August 11th at 8:31 a.m., and you have a preliminary hearing currently scheduled for August 15th at 8:31 a.m. Mr. Morris, I am putting a $25,000 secured appearance bond in your case. Secured appearance means you can pay that directly or you can work with a bonding company. Bonding companies generally require 10% plus collateral. 10% of $25,000 would be $2,500. However, don't post bond at this time because you are non-bondable in your probation case. So even if
unbondable?
You're non-bondable, correct. You cannot be released in your probation case.
For my probation.
So you'll have to wait to see the judge in the probation case who will determine whether your probation will be reinstated. We'll get to that shortly. If probation is reinstated, then you would see pretrial services for supervision, and you would have an electronic ankle monitor installed. And you also would have the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. That means you cannot go back to the apartment complex. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You must find an alternative residence and provide proof of the same to the court. And you must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued. You also must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You are entitled to 1 civil standby. That's where you contact local law enforcement, schedule a time to meet an officer who will escort you to the residence so you can obtain your essential belongings. And please be aware of violation of a no victim contact order in a criminal case may constitute aggravated harassment, which is a Class 6 felony. Then, Mr. Morris, regarding your alleged probation violation, this is based on the new charges. It is a Term 1 violation. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing August 14th at 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. And as I stated, you are non-bondable in this case. The judge on the 14th will determine whether your probation will be reinstated. Mr. Morris, do you have any questions for me?
I do, because I don't know if you were, if you have any idea of what happened in that case, but if I can have a chance to explain.
Well, you can explain if you want, Mr. Morris. Let me just explain that from my perspective, the question is whether there's probable cause for the charges. I do find that there's probable cause for the charges. And so then I have to make a determination based off of some factors that in the state constitution, one of which is protection of public safety and victim safety. So based on those factors, that's why I've made this determination. Now, you're welcome to speak if you wish, but please understand that when you're already on probation for, for an incident involving a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument, and then this happens, that's what makes you non-bondable in probation and why I think the $25,000 bond is appropriate and necessary.
And I understand. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're welcome to speak if you'd like.
Yeah. So when that happened, my neighbor, he came into my house, right? And he said some words to me. I don't know if this has anything to do with, I just want to get my word out. He came into my house. He told me to shut the fuck up. Excuse my language. I told him, don't tell me that. He punches me right here. And that was in my own home. And that's when the altercation happened. And so I don't feel like him coming into my house doing this to me, I feel like I have every right to protect myself in that circumstance, because I don't understand why this is the case, because I was assaulted. He came into my house. this is what happened. He laid the first, he did this first, you know, like that was the first move he made on me. And I didn't do nothing. All I said was, look, I'm with my lady, and I tell them I don't want problems. And this isn't the first time with him either. Me and my lady one time, she had her kid over, and
Mr. Morris, sorry, we've got a lot of people, and
I get it.
You're digressing at this point. So, Mr. Morris, here's the situation: is you're on probation for disorderly conduct involving a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument.
Yeah.
You are a prohibited possessor.
Okay. Yes, I understand that.
And you had a firearm on you.
It wasn't my firearm, but I protected myself because I didn't know he came into my house.
Well, Mr. Morris, even if it wasn't your firearm, you had a firearm at your residence.
It wasn't mine.
But Mr. Morris, you cannot possess any firearms. It doesn't matter whether it's your firearm or not. You can't have a firearm in your home. You can't have a firearm in your vehicle.
Okay.
When you pull out a firearm, you create an extremely dangerous situation.
Okay. I just felt my life was at risk. He was coming at me. He's 6'3", 6'4". I felt my life was at risk when he hit me, and he was coming into my home. So I'm just trying to get my word out. I understand where you're coming from. I have a previous case. I'm not the type to hurt anybody, but at the same time, I feel like I had to do what I had to do because he, you know.
So, Mr. Morris, you'll be able to talk to your attorney about this. You're innocent unless proven guilty, but I've got to take steps to protect the community.
But I'm here until two more weeks.
So you'll be here until
unbondable,
August 14th.
Unbondable?
8 days from now. Correct, non-bondable.
See, and I'm late on rent. I don't even have rent paid right now. Like,
I mean, Mr. Morris,
I have so much going on right now, and this wasn't even supposed to happen.
Yeah. And
I got assaulted, and here I am, and he didn't get charged for assault, you know?
And I'm not deciding whether, you know, he should or shouldn't be charged with something.
I understand.
So, I mean, Mr. Morris, again, like, you have to understand, you're saying, hey, all these things are unfair. You had a firearm, sir.
Yeah.
You were a prohibited possessor.
I understand.
And it doesn't seem to me, well, no, I don't, it doesn't seem to me that you realize the magnitude of that.
Well, I understand.
I'm just saying, to me it doesn't, right? Maybe you do, but I don't think you realize the magnitude of having a firearm as a prohibited possessor. And it's not just that you're a prohibited possessor for a felony involving drugs or something like that. It's a domestic violence charge.
What is a domestic violence charge? The ones that I'm on right now?
Correct. You're already on probation right now.
I'm on probation and I'm on bond.
For disorderly conduct involving a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. So you're already on probation for that, and then you still had possession of a firearm.
I used the firearm to protect myself.
Yeah, so Mr. Morris, I think we're done. I don't think you're understanding, and that's okay. You'll be able to speak with your attorney.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Kayla Minnie and then Antonio Ortiz will be on deck.